Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Clearly Ambiguous. Today, we are talking about a country who likes to play middleman and now is stuck in between a war. Now, we are talking about Qatar. Qatar has always played the middleman in the Middle East. If you remember back in the day when United States was engaging with Taliban before their haphazard exit from Afghanistan, when they were engaging with the Taliban, all those conversations were actually happening in Qatar, where at one point of time, Trump probably found the Taliban leadership very pragmatic and thought that, I should talk to them and sign a deal because he likes to make deals, because he likes to end wars. Okay. Yeah, he likes to end wars. See, if you have to end a war, you have to start one first, right? So he's basically tried to end other wars which he did not start, like the Russia-Ukraine war, which he was going to stop within 24 hours of becoming the president. But that he could not stop because both the parties are not listening to him. So he's probably thought that, I will start a war so that I can end it, because he tried doing certain military operations where he had claimed to destroy the entire nuclear capability that the Iranians were trying to achieve. But then again, now he's gone back again because Iran was very close to a nuclear bomb. Anyways, we are talking about Qatar, so let's get back to it. So Qatar always likes to play the middleman, and right now is stuck in the middle of a war. Actually, all Middle Eastern countries are stuck in the middle of a war right now because Qatar had gotten attacked by Israel because they had Hamas leadership which was there, and Israel went after them, because that is the classic tactic of Israelis, that they do these decapitation moves. To what success, we have to understand, because they have done that, and still if they are facing resistance, then are they really helping? Another thing is that now Iran has gone ahead and attacked the biggest LNG, liquefied natural gas facility in Qatar. That will definitely disrupt the global supply, because even we Indians get a lot of liquefied natural gas from Qatar, so it will impact us as well. Israel had actually gone after similar infrastructure earlier in this current operation, and as I said, in September 2025 also they had attacked Qatar. Now Qatar, while they try to behave that they are the middlemen and they try to negotiate peace, they also thrive on propagating and amplifying conflict everywhere. Now, we'll come to that a little later, but why is Qatar very significant for Iran to go after them? See, the United States Central Command is in Qatar, and Qatar, essentially the entire military infrastructure of Qatar is basically United States sponsored. So Iran, of course, would treat anybody who's supporting United States as their enemy at this point of time, and Qatar seems to be one of the biggest supporters of United States in the region. Hence, the Iranians or the Iranians are going after Qatar. Also, if you remember, they have a very significant network called Al Jazeera, which is now probably as big as CNN or BBC. Well, it is a Qatari government-owned institution, and for years there have been reports that Al Jazeera has been pretty much biased when it comes to reporting conflicts in different parts of the world. They like to amplify conflicts in every other part of the world, and at the same point of time try to promote themselves as Qataris as the most pragmatic out of the lot, whereas that might not be the case. So right now, a lot of Middle Eastern countries are feeling the heat, and actually indirectly other people who are dealing with these Middle Eastern countries when it comes to their energy are feeling the heat as well, because IEA, that is the International Economic Organization, IEA or anyways, so the international organization which basically makes policy on energy policy everywhere is now asking everybody to basically use their cooking gas or fuel wisely is requesting us to use public transport everywhere. And this is not for some particular part of the world. Everybody everywhere should listen to them and probably use public transport more often so that they can save on fuel, or probably even cook one meal less a day. Why? Because there is just not enough fuel. Well, there is enough fuel if all these countries can stop going at each other. See, Americans were hoping that by the decapitation strikes that they're doing, because they see all this resentment against the Iranian regime in the expats that are outside Iran, that and the protests that were happening in Iran, United States is probably helping the cause of destabilizing Iran so that there is a regime change. But at the same point of time, while Americans are going against all the missile infrastructure and the radar infrastructure and other infrastructure, they are essentially not going against the particular system which the people would not want to rise up against, because the last time they did rise up and start protesting, there were almost 20,000-30,000 people that were killed by their own forces, right? So, and what is America doing, United States doing right now to basically make sure that if you want Iranian people to rise up against the regime because you feel that there is a public sentiment that would initiate a regime change, why is it not happening, right? And I'm sure that is the question Americans and the Israelis are asking as well, and that's what Israelis have mentioned a couple of times, that we will create a situation where you can take over your own governance the way you would want it, but why is it not happening, and how long is it going to go? Because it is definitely in a crisis situation, right? Everybody is scrambling, we are scrambling as well. We've had to deal with Iran. Iran has allowed a couple of our tankers, but I'm sure diplomacy works both ways. Iran is going to use all this energy that it is controlling right now as leverage in this war that it has against United States, right? Because Iran is banking on the fact that the longer they are able to engage United States and more economic damage that they are going to cause to the economy of the world and essentially hurt the US economy, so that the will of United States to fight this war or continue this war, goes away. Because if you look at it, United States after a point of time has left certain wars that it had started without any conclusion that they particularly wanted, because it was just a little too expensive for them when it came to lives and money that they were spending in that war. As far as Qatar is concerned, I'm sure for years they thought that they could probably just go about, talking and amplifying conflicts everywhere else until they get involved in a conflict themselves and get bombarded from both sides. I'm sure they would like both sides to stop, so that because the next worry for Qatar right now is that essentially most of their water supply is from desalination plants, and if any of these, either the Israelis or the Iranians start going after desalination plants, which if you see Iran has tried to go ahead, and even the Americans and the Israelis have gone against desalination plants everywhere. So the next problem that Qataris might face is clean drinking water. So while everybody is engaging and Trump is asking them to do more and more in the military way, are there enough people who are trying to achieve a diplomatic solution to this as well? Because, see, Iranians are not very keen on talking to United States because they got hit while they were talking to United States, and not once but twice. So I'm sure that Iran is going to keep hitting everybody that they can hit. And now there are reports that one of the aircraft carrier from United States has also gone for maintenance, so probably it was hit by an Iranian projectile, or I don't know. We will talk about that in another video. But then again, what should Qatar do at this point of time? I'm sure the answer is clearly ambiguous. Thanks for watching. Until next time, you take care. Good night.